All right, here we are, part 3. So if you've watched the other videos, hopefully you haven't had to, but talked about my first German Shepherd having endocrine pancreatic insufficiency, and then his intestines twisting, mesenteric torsion. I'm probably not saying that right. So this one is fast forward 11 years to, oh, I don't know, it's June 8th or 9th, I don't know what the day is. Fast forward 11 years, so I you know, a couple months after Six passed away, I got his nephew, Frank. So Six, Frank, what's up with that? So Six was the bass player, is the bass player of Motley Crue, and his original name was Frank Ferrano. So I named Frank after Six, after Nikki Six, whatever. So I got Frank, and he was a healthy dog. He, I started like Schutzhund training with him when he was a puppy, and he was so good. The obedience, listening, commands, like, I mean, I'm not even gonna get into it all, but I like really worked my ass off with that dog. Bite work, tracking. I never got him like titled or anything. I really didn't. I wasn't into it for the competition so much. Like, I didn't need a piece of paper, a certificate, or anything. I'm rambling here, but I did a lot of work with him, and you know, 11 years later, he was a healthy dog. He'd get some ear infections. You know, his back legs were maybe like a little weak. After x-rays, it was never actually his hips or anything like that. It was, I guess, more so the nerves just that control the movement start to deteriorate. So, I mean, he wasn't like falling down or anything. He could still jump, do whatever. He loves swimming. Maybe I'll have a clip of that. He was a really active dog in good shape. So so as of this past Monday, it would be 11 days. So 11, it's Wednesday, 12, 13 days ago, I took him to the vet because his, for like a week or so, his penis area, when he was laying down, it would like drip. It'd be like just a little puddle wherever he went. So I took him to the vet for that. And the problem with taking him to the vet, you know, with this dog, was with all the bite work training and stuff that he had, he would not let anyone handle him, like, at all. I could handle him. He wouldn't bite me. My dad, he loved my dad, he could handle him, but other than that, like a stranger, you might as well forget about it. So, and then eventually, like, you know, he would get triggered going to the vet, so he knew what was coming. But anyway, so we'd go into the vet, and I'd have to muzzle him, I'd have to hold him, I'd have to give him medicine first. It would take like 4 vet staff to hold him down, to hold his leg, to put the needle in. He broke one off one time, to sedate him, just to like give him a rabies shot, or, you know, do his nails or whatever. But that was the nature of him, and I wasn't trying to change it. So anyway, I took him to the vet, and we did the whole deal, and they did x-rays and everything, and blood work, urine work, all that stuff, and they couldn't find anything wrong with his prostate or anything like that. So what they did find was a huge ass tumor in his stomach, and I didn't know. He didn't show any signs of having like cancer. I still don't know that he had cancer. Never got to the point where I could test it. Most likely was, I mean, maybe some of you guys know, I'm probably, hopefully, showing x-rays right now. But I think it was attached to his spleen. It had not, according to the blood work, had not affected his kidneys or liver at that point. Heart was still good. He was slightly anemic, which maybe the tumor was bleeding a little bit. Don't know if it was cancer or not. So, sorry, this is still pretty fresh for me. So, yeah, it's like shitty news to get when you're at the vet. So I start researching, do you remove the tumor? Do you not remove the tumor? There's a big discrepancy about if you call a vet's office. So my vet was not equipped to do such a surgery, so I had to look elsewhere. You start looking elsewhere, they refer you to surgeons. They consider it's not an emergency. The dog's not dying. The dog's not bleeding out. so you try and figure out a place to get this surgery done, and then they're like, well, it's 2 months. You can see the surgeon for a consultation. It's like 2 months. That might be too late. And what I don't want is, like, I don't want to have him. You know, he was still very healthy. 3 days after the vet appointment, he's jumping in my parents' pool, swimming. He's running around, eating well. He was breathing maybe a little bit heavy, but like if I would have never taken him to the vet, I would have just thought it was because he was getting older at 11 years old. And he was a big dog. He's like 100 pounds. He was 115 in his prime, but so yeah, so I started doing all the research, and there's this, I don't know what it's called. I'm not even going to try and like butcher the name. I'll put it across the bottom. These Chinese herbs that are supposed to help, and turkey tail mushrooms and all this stuff. So in the meantime, arguing with these vets, so back to the vet story, they would tell me, you know, it's a surgery. And I would call the emergency vet local to me, and I'd say, do you guys remove these tumors? And you're like, well, you know, we don't schedule it or anything. So I'm like, okay, so basically you have to wait for my dog to be dying, and then you'll try. So I have a huge issue with that, but I hope you don't run into that if you're watching this video. Hopefully you'll find someone that's more compassionate and understanding of the situation. So I was not that fortunate. And, you know, I heard a lot of stories, read a lot of stories about people that would have the tumor removed and the dog would die, you know, a couple of months later. Or people that didn't remove the tumor and they used these medicines, these natural medicines, and the dog lived for 2 more years, lived till 13. And then, you know, you hear all different kinds of stories. So it's like, what the hell, what do you do? How do you make a decision? I mean, the surgery is expensive. Is it worth it? Should I do it? Shouldn't I? I was like driving myself nuts for days. So I'm just telling you my experience with it. So took him to the vet. That happened. 11 days. He was on prednisone. He was on some medicine for his little penile drip. And he was on, he was sort of like funky. You know, he was intact. And he had like a little bit of a yeasty skin, so he was on some type of antifungal medicine. And man, trying to get that dog to take like 50 pills a day was not fun. He ate well though, because of all the canned food I'd mix in to hide the pills and everything. So that's what he was on, prednisone. To, you know, I had requested that. I mean, maybe they would have given it to me anyway, but so he's all good, and I'm just trying to find a place that'll, like, again, going back to the fact that he's difficult to handle, like, I can't afford to take him to 5 different surgeons at $400, $500 a pop, because they have to sedate him, you know. So I'm trying to just find someone. Hey, I'm not trying to waste your time. Like, can you look at these X-rays? Tell me what you think, and you know, if it's worth it, I'll come forward. We'll do the pre-op or whatever, you know. And if you think it's not worth it, let me know. And people are not even receptive to that, which is sort of shitty. I mean, I get it. It's a business. No one wants to do anything for free, but no one wants to have their time wasted either. So it takes 5 seconds for an expert to look at an X-ray. And I get you can't tell everything from that. You know, maybe we need an MRI, maybe we need a biopsy. There's just so many variables. And it's like, if you're watching this and you're just experiencing this, first of all, I'm sorry. And second of all, like, where do you turn? So again, days had gone by, and you know, I'd called a bunch of the vets previously on this past Friday, and I was waiting on return calls, but I knew it was the weekend, so I was like, I'll call him Monday when I'm driving to work. So Monday I got up and I went to go to work, and he was like breathing a good bit heavier than normal. He went outside, he laid down in like a weird spot, and he wouldn't come back in. I had to like really say, Frank, come on. And then he wouldn't eat nothing, like even the good food. He would just lay there. So I texted some people from work. I'm like, I'm not coming in. I don't know what's going on with him. Take him out to my front porch, and I sit him out there. I'm like, what do I do? So he loved my dad. We called him Grandpa, and he loved swimming at my parents. So I said, Frank, you want to go to Grandpa's? You want to go swimming? And he didn't. I mean, normally his ears were up, and he was ready. He didn't even look at me. Frankie.
You wanna go see Grandpa? You wanna go see Grandpa? Oh, fuck.
So I called both my parents because they were quite attached to him, and I told them to come out. And in the meantime, I finally found an awesome vet. I don't know what area you're from, but Bel Air Emergency Hospital. Thank you for offering, you know, to take him in and see him. But I went and I played the drums, so I had drums in my car. This is an hour or two has passed, you know, I have drums in my car, and I go out to my car because this place is finally, you know, I finally found a place that'll like knock this surgery out if it's not too late. And I go get them unloaded. I go back, I drive the car up to my porch where he was laying there, and to get him to get in the car, and he wouldn't get up. I'm like, come on, Frank, get up. And right then, I don't know if he was waiting for me to get back or what, he started gasping. And thank God he didn't like bleed out, throwing up or nothing like that. So if he did suffer, it was for like a minute or two before he died. So that was the last thing I wanted, was for him to like suffer, bleed, and just die a miserable death. I mean, and he died, you know, slowly. Well, no, he didn't die slowly. He died pretty quickly, and he wasn't in a lot of pain or any pain. I don't know if he was in pain. I didn't want him to bleed out. That was what I was most afraid of. And I don't know if he had a stroke or what, or maybe this is something associated with the cancer. But if it was cancer, they had said that, you know, there was spots on his lungs. They don't know if it was cancer, if that had metastasized to the lungs, or if it was just old age spots. So I'll never know. But he just started breathing real heavy the last minute or two, and his tongue got white, and he took a couple gasps, and he was done. So I'm fortunate in the fact that I was with him and I didn't go to work. I'm fortunate that he didn't you know, bleed out and suffer, because I wouldn't have been able to live with myself. But how do you know when's the point? When's the point when you put him to sleep? Some people said they got 2 years. I got 11 days. I don't know if this information is even going to be helpful to anybody, but I'm just telling you my experience so that you don't have to go looking too hard for it. Hopefully it pops up on YouTube for you pretty easily. I think that's it. It's Wednesday. My dog died on Monday, on my front porch. My female shepherd, Boo Boo, come here, girl. Let's see if I can get her to come over here. She's devastated. Come here, girl. Come on. Oh, she just knocked down my light. Come on, Boo Boo. If you're still watching this, it's just for entertainment purposes. I don't have anything else great to say. Come here, Boo Boo. Come here, girl. Come on, get up here. Come here, Boo Boo. No. Get over here. Oh, stop. Yeah. This is Boo Boo. She's sad and upset because she lost her Frankie. She's a sweet girl, though. You sweet girl. Yeah. So, if I think of anything else, I'll put it in the comments. Good luck, guys.